Hey there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. I'm going to be sharing a window card with you today. It's always fun to take our stamps, make a pretty background, and then put a window on top of it. So it makes it as if you're peering into a beautiful scene. So to make our project, I'm going to be using some products from Gina K Designs. I've picked out the Whimsical Wildflowers 2 and Master Layouts 5 set. We're going to be using that window from Master Layouts 5 to create that beautiful arched window on our card. Now first we got to make our background. So I'm taking this Queen Anne's lace image from the Whimsical Wildflowers 2 set, and I'm starting off by stamping just the top of it with morning ink. This is our really light purple color. I thought this would look really cool to simulate the white of the Queen Anne's lace. Then I've picked out some greens. I have FAIRWAY, which I'm going to ink up the stem and leaves with. And I will soften any edges with my brush to make sure I get a really soft transition between the green and the blue. Then I'm going to bring in Field, which is slightly darker, and I'm only going to put that in certain spots of my image and then brush that out as well to soften the edges, so that way you don't get any harsh lines when you stamp this over top of the second color. So now we have a two-toned effect, and I'm going to repeat this across my paper. I'm going to build a scene with those same colors and this Queen Anne's lace image, always making sure I soften the ink to make sure my transitions are nice and smooth. Once I had my background created, then I brought in a couple of Copic markers and just colored in the leaves so that they weren't just outlines. I picked some greens that I thought were fairly close to the colors that I used. Then with that same FAIRWAY color, I'm going to softly add a little bit of green around the bottom areas and the leaves. And yes, that is Oscar's tail peeking in and out. He was sitting on my arm, so his tail just kept flopping in as I was ink blending. Okay, so I'm going to take that Master Layouts window and I'm going to die cut it into some white cardstock. I did use very, very low tack tape, and you can see this tape is excellent for holding dies in place because you can gently remove it from your paper and it won't tear anything. Now I'm just kind of deciding which part of my scene I want to be seen through the window. Once I have that picked out, I did trim that panel down so that it would fit behind my window, and I'm using foam tape to attach this window panel onto my background, so that way there's a little bit of dimension. This makes it feel like it is truly a window looking outside. So this is now put together, and I need to create a sentiment. I wanted paper that matched really well with the Queen Anne's lace color, but I didn't quite have anything just right in that same color. So I'm just making my own cardstock by smushing my morning ink pad onto some white paper, and then once it dries, it's a nice smooth color, and I can die cut it with this circle image from the Master Layouts 5 set. From the Whimsical Wildflowers 2 stamps, I picked out this greeting, and I'm stamping it twice with some black ink just to get a really nice deep impression. And then I'm going to trim this down just a little bit with my mini guillotine trimmer from Tim Holtz. I really like using this for teeny tiny projects. If I need to cut bigger projects, I reach for the rotary trimmer. I'm going to attach this patterned paper. This is the back side, obviously. It's a double-sided sheet, but I have a nice green color of paper that I wanted to use as the trim around my panel. So this is the exact same size as an A2 size card, so I'm just attaching that down with some dot runner, and then I can attach my background panel on top of that. But before I do want to tie a bit of ribbon onto this project. So I'm exposing some of the adhesive. I used Terrific tape for this because it's a little stronger than dot runner. I wanted this to help hold the ribbon in place so it doesn't shift on my card. So I exposed the bottom area of the adhesive, and I'm laying that ribbon into it. And then I can go ahead and tie this onto my card, and I'm not going to make this a fancy bow. I'm just going to tie it into a knot. It's a little less bulky, and it also is clean and simple. It's also really easy to make. So I tied that up, and now I'm going to attach my sentiment tucked right underneath that. I can trim down my ribbon now, and I used my Simon Says Stamp Everyday scissors for this. They cut through ribbon beautifully. I also am going to attach this onto my card. I exposed the rest of the adhesive that I had on the back side of this and then just laid it onto my project. I completed things by adding some sequins. This is a really nice blue mix of sequins. Anything blue and white would look really good here. And I sprinkled those all over the place just for a very whimsical and sparkly touch. And that's it. That is the finished card. It's a simple card, but very elegant, and would be a wonderful sentiment to somebody It could be a thinking of you card and so many other different occasions. You can also change out the sentiment for something else if you'd like. I hope you were inspired by today's project. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and don't forget that all the products that I used today are linked below in the video description if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching, and have a fabulous day!
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.